Hi everyone, welcome to my Chicago Masterclass. My name is Cameron Hall and I'm a West End choreographer and performer who spent over a year in Chicago the musical, playing the role of Spirit of Fosse. So I'm here to teach you the most famous routine from Chicago. And of course, that is all that jazz. So, we're going to get ourselves warmed up first, get our blood flowing, get ourselves energized and ready to go, and then I'm going to teach you all that jazz. So, here we go. Great, so that's us warmed up. Here we go, let's get ourselves started and learn all that jazz. Now I'm going to try my very, very best to mirror this for you, so I apologise if I get a little bit confused. Here we go. So we're going to start with jogging on the spot. Let's get ourselves warmed up and ready to go. Arms go up and down and up and down. Good. Really stretch up. Well done, everyone. We're going to step out. Good. Reaching over now. Good. Guys, running again. Arms up. And down. We're doing some sergeants now. 1. Great behind. 2 sergeants. Well done, everyone. Can you make little circles and jog? And forward. Little circles. Well done, everyone. We're going to pull our arms down and our legs back. Good, now forward. Good, great balance. Turn it out. Back to normal. Turn it out. Good, jogging on the spot again. Kick your bum. Knees up in front of you. You kick out. Give me a punch as well. Well done, everyone. We're going back to one. Grapevine. 2 sergeants. Well done, everyone. Keep going. Good. Marching. Arms up. Here we go. March. Good. Our heads forward and back. Side to side. Let's get ourselves warmed up. Give it a roll around. Good, everyone. Let's roll those shoulders back. Big circles with your shoulders. And forward. Good. A bit bigger circles down with your whole arm. And forward. Good. We're going to stretch up. Stretch even taller. And over we go. Good. Flat back. Nose on your knee. Feel like a Now roll up nice and slowly. Other side, we're going up. Grow nice and tall. Over we go. Flat back. Over your leg. Nose on your knee. In the middle. Roll it up. Ribs. Forward side, back side. Roll it round. Other way. Hips, forward and back. Side to side. Roll it round like you're hula hoop. Other way. Good, everyone. Facing the side. Get a nice lunge. Arms above your head. We're going to do 3 bounces. Here we go. Bounce. And bounce. Bounce. All the way down. Push your hips forward. Really stretch out that hip muscle. We're going to straighten both legs now. And flex your front foot. Good, right, everyone. Good, lay back down to a leg. You're going to tuck your foot underneath you. And give yourself a big hug. Good, you're going to swing your right leg all the way around. And end up like this. One leg in front, good. I'm going to swing it so you can see. And we're going down, stretching out that hamstring. Good, coming up to a lunge on your left now. Arms above your head, here we go, 3 bounces, here we go, everyone. And a bend. A bend. And bend. Good, down we go. Stretch it up. Hips forward. Straighten both legs. Flex that front foot. And back down. Tucking your leg underneath you. Give yourself some hug. Well done, everyone. Swing that leg all the way around. Good going, everyone. Good. Jump up and give yourself a bit of a shake out. Well done, I think that's just all warmed up and stretched up. Okay, so here goes. Make sure that your shoulders and hips are always aligned and square. In a big square. Good. You're going to twist your right leg out and put your weight dead center. You're going to relax your left arm and relax your right arm onto your leg here. Now, you want to be sat in your hip but not pushed out. Still. The routine starts with a big head roll. So, to the right, to the left, sorry. Big head roll to the left. Here we go. So we go around. Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? You're going to lift your head up, and then your arms are going to go, shh, shh, and all that jazz. Now, throughout this routine, I'm going to give you a couple of Fosse technique pointers that are the same for any Fosse choreography, whether that be Chicago, Cabaret, Pippin, Sweet Charity. So, Fosse work always goes elbow, wrist, hand, elbow, wrist, hand. So, you want to think about pulling your elbow, wrist, hand, and down. Yes? Good. Now, the other thing is, well, you want to get there with power, but not force. So I don't want you to go, yes? Up, down. Nice and calm, relaxed, and only isolate the bit of the body that you need to isolate. So nice head, here we go. Come on, babe, why don't head up, up. Then we do arm, arm, and all that jazz. Good. From here, you're going to paint a big circle on your thigh as you bend your left leg. We don't want to look like I'm a little teapot, so we don't want to do this. Yes, we want to keep straight upright the whole time. So bend and hand, and all that jazz. Yes? So, your head. Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? Da-da-da, head, arm, and all that jazz. So before you do your circle in your thigh, you're going to do a little intake of breath. I'm gonna rouge my knees. You're going to run your hands down your thigh, and you're going to end with your index finger, your middle finger, your middle finger, on as close to your knee as possible. So you're going to rouge your knees and roll your stockings down. Middle finger, little hip, da-da-da-da, ha, ha. 2 little hips, bam, bam, and all that jazz. Now, what I want you to really, really think about is, Fosse choreography is all about dancing for yourself, not for the audience. One thing we were told continually during the rehearsals for Chicago the Musical was, you have to dance for you, but tell a story. So this hip isn't this, bam, bam, it's tiny. Yes? Tiny little, bang, bang, and all that jazz. Good. From your head. Actually, we'll go from, gonna rouge your knees and roll your stockings down, da-da-da-da. Hip, hip, and all that jazz. Good. On to the next bit. You're staying in this position. Start. So you're going to pinch your finger, your index finger and thumb together. Start the car. I know. A whoopee spot. And you make 2 circles with your finger. So you're going to squeeze it, turn it, finger. Now, also, listen to how I say this. Start the car. I know. A whoopee spot. So you want to have a nice accent on bam. Good. And you're going to 2 little circles. Start the car. I know. A whoopee spot. Good. Also, as you do that, everything else is staying square, and you're going to make sure this is chest height. Start the car. I know. A whoopee spot. You're going to jump out to second, feet both facing the front, as your arms are coming in front of your chest, where the gin is cold. Nice and strong. Shoulders and elbows in one line. You're going to shake your hands. Yes? As you do a massive hip roll. And the piano's hot. It's just. Yes? So from the top. Big head roll. Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? Head. And all that jazz. I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down. Da-da-da. Hip. Bam, bam. And all that jazz. Start the car. I know. Whoopee spot. Where the gin is cold, but the piano's hot. It's just. I'm going to finish this little section before we head over with the music. Piano's hot. Now you're going to face the corner in a nice 4th jazz lunge. Hips forward. As you do that, your arm's going to make a big, remember, elbow wrist hand, a big semicircle up and down. Yes? So you're going up and down into this position. Yes? So the gin is cold, but the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl. And you're going to swing yourself to the left side. All. Bottom. That. Bottom. And then you click. Jazz. Now as you click, your hips are going back, 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 back. Good. Also, So you've done your big, remember, elbow wrist hand, elbow wrist hand. You're going to shoot yourself to the side, nice and strong. Bam! Nice strong shoulder. Whoom. Bam! Nice strong shoulder. Whoom. Just. So a lot of Fosse work is about isolating one part of your body, which sometimes feels really weird. But really enjoy the dynamic of, yes? And the great thing about Fosse is, when going through any of your other dance work, your festival routines, your competition routines, your exam work, you'll find places where you think, I could add that kind of dynamic, and it makes it so much more interesting for the audience to watch and for us to watch. So, we're going to go from the very top, without the music, nice and slowly, and then we're going to try that to there with the music. Are you ready? Big head roll. Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? We're going to go head, arm, and all that jazz. I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down. Ba-da-da-da. Hip, and all that jazz. Good. Start the car. I know whoopee spot where the gin is cold. Piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl. And change. Shoulder, change, shoulder, click, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that with the music, okay? Remember, very, very important, keeping your shoulders and hips square at all times. We don't want any I'm a little tin pot moments happening. Yes? Here we go. Everyone.
Come on, baby, why don't we paint the town?
Head,
I know that jazz, I wanna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down.
Hip.
I know that jazz, start the car.
I know.
Whoopee spot where the gin is cold, the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl.
Change. You're going to go da-da-da-da. Bring your feet together to face the front. Your arms are coming. Bam, bam. Good. So you're going to up here, splayed hands. Now another Fosse technique number 2. If you put your hands on your bum, that's a jazz hand. Okay. So slightly pressed forward. If you can see my hands, they're slightly pressed forward. They're not spread backwards. Yeah, Fosse hands, so you want to feel like you're connected this way. So if you're holding a ball, yes? So don't ever let your hands flip this way. So you're going to cross them up at the top. Bam, bam. You're then going to twist your wrist in and in. So you're going to twist it, boom, boom. Now, my hands, if you can see, are in what is called a waterfall position. So if I put a drop of water here, it would run all the way up and down my fingers. So my hands are completely relaxed. I don't want any T-Rexes. Just nice and calm. And the tops of my arms are trying to stay as close to my body as possible. So you've got da-da-da-da, bam, bam, and all that jazz. Good, from here, you're going to escape your feet out into a nice second position as your hands come through your hair. Slick your hair. Now, my hands have gone through my hair as if I've put a comb through them, and my arms are pointing at 10 and 2 o'clock if I was on a clock, yes? They don't want to be too close, they don't want to be too out. Yes? So, slick your hair and where? You're going to hit your right knee and then your left knee. Jerk them nice and strong. Bam, bam. Yes? None of this. Yeah. Bam, bam. Da-da-da-da. Up, down. And all that jazz. So you're going to go up, reaching up, and then down. And your hands are going to flex down here. Yes? Your hands are going to drop on your next move as you do a big breath in. And we're going to move on. But from here, I want you to notice this. Yeah? I really want you to start thinking about using your breath through your movement. Whether that's this routine or any routine possible. One of the greatest things I learned at college was being able to use your breath and your air to make things look exciting and dynamic. Fosse does this incredibly throughout this whole routine by using those kind of things. Yes? So, here we go. So you've just done again, da 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 da, up, down, shoulder, all that jazz. Good. From here. Oh, sorry. Bum. From here. Bum, bum, and all that jazz into those two waterfall positions. Very good, everyone. So you're going to shoot your legs out into your slick your hair away. Knee. Knee, da-da-da-da, bum, bum, and all that jazz. So we'll just stay here. I want you to, if you know the words, sing along. If you don't, you can pick up all that jazz. All that jazz. You're going to breathe in. As you come down, we're going back into our nice jazz fourth position, facing the side. Down, up. Now, you're going to make a trumpet looking shape with your hands. So your thumb is connecting to your little finger. Again, we're not in a splay, we're in a nice jazz hand. And you're hitting this position. Yes? Bum, bum, and all that jazz. It's gonna blow the blues. We're going down, up, look, and all that jazz. Bam! Going over that bit slowly again. So your arms are coming, let's slick your hair, bang, bang. Arms, up, down, and all that jazz. Breathe in. Down we go. We're going down, up, look, and all that jazz. Your left arm is coming to your hip, your right arm is coming to your shoulder. Cool. Now, this position is called wet nails. So you want to imagine you just painted your fingernails and they're wet, or you've just dried your hands. You're coming to your left hand to your hip, but your hands are not wrapping around your hip. They're staying out, and your right arm is going to your shoulders again. They're not wrapping. Good. From here, they're going to unfold, remember. Elbow, wrist, hand. Out. And close the other side. Yes? So let's go back a minute. Slick your hair and wear your buckled shoes. Da 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 da. Up, down, and all that jazz. Breathe in. Blow the blues. Da 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 da. Head, and all that jazz. Whoa. Elbow, wrist, hand. Hold on, hum. Good. Okay, we're going to stop there and we're going to go from the top slowly without music, and then we're going to run through up there too with the music. Here we go. In your nice position. Head roll. Here we go. Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? Head, arm, and all that jazz. Breathe in. Hip, and all that jazz. Good. Start the car. I know a whoopee spot where the gym is cold, piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl and all shoulder. That shoulder jazz. Click, click, click. Bring your feet together. Da 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 da. Bam, bam. And all that jazz. Good. From here, slick your hair and wear your buckled shoes. Da 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 da. Up, down, and all that jazz. Breathe in. Father Dick is gonna blow the blues. Da 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 da. Head, bum, and all that jazz. Hold on, hum. Yes? We're going to try that with the music. Here we go. do two, get your teeth in. You're going to do 2 shoulder rolls. Shoulder, shoulder. As you do that, your knee's going to bend slightly. Barney hug. We're going back to the same thing as we did the very first section. 4th, nice lunge here as our arms coming up. Remember, elbow, wrist, hand. Aspirin, down at United drug. In case. Now, you're going to put your index fingers to your thumbs. Like this. These are called teacup hands. They appear a lot in Fosse work. A lot. But yeah, we're going to do teacup hands. From here, you're going to shimmy yourself around. Shimmy all the way around. Shake her up. And for a brand new start to do. Shoulder roll. That, shoulder roll, and then you do your clicks. Jazz. Now, as we shake, you want to shake all the way from one corner to the other corner. The tops of your arms are going to try and stay as close to your chest as possible. Gonna shake up. And you're really going to shimmy. But I don't want your arms to move, okay? So you've got bunny. I've got some bunny. From here. And all that jazz. Boom. Hold on, hon. I got some bunny. I got some aspirin on a gelato jar. In case we shake apart for a brand new start to do. Shoulder, that, shoulder, jazz. 2, 3, 4. That's it. We're going to end that routine with one other Fosse move, which is used quite a lot in all its choreography, but also in Chicago. It's the move I used most while I was performing in Chicago, the musical, and that's a pippin. So what you've done here, you're going to open your arms. Now, get your jazz hands, hold your bum. You're going to twist your wrists out. And then you're going to twist yourself this way. As you do that, you're going to open your hands out. And your hands are coming. So if you imagine your arms as a big vase, twist your wrists. And we're going to do a big one of those. So you roll it up, and then open. Jazz. And that'll be the end. Okay, so let's just go through that very last section from Slick Your Hair, and then we're going to try with the music a couple of times. Here we go. Slick your hair and wear your buckled shoes. Da 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 da. Up, down, and all that jazz. Breathe in, down. Ba da bum bum. Head and all that jazz. Hold. Remember, don't rap. Hold on, hun. We got bunny hug. I got some aspirin down at United Drive. In case we shake apart for a brand new start to do. That jazz. 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to pip in and open. And that's it. Okay, so we're now going to go from the very, very top without the music, and then we're going to dance it a few times with. So, here we go. We're going to try this with the music a couple of times. First couple of times, I'm going to shout out nice and loud, and we're going to really think about the technique and the dance of it. And then I've got another little task for you. Here we go. Here we go, everyone.
Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? I know that chairs, I wanna push my knees and roll my stockings down. I know that chairs start to come.
I know.
Won't be spot when the gin is cold.
Shake that.
The piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall.
now going to dance that all over again from the very, very top. Now, the big things we were told while learning this routine in Chicago. Funny, I'm going to tell you a little story. When we first arrived in rehearsals, the choreographer put on all that jazz, the music, and said, "Go on then." Because obviously it's something that by the time you get out there from college, most people know. I didn't really know it. I knew the first little bit, but I didn't know much else. But one thing I very quickly learned is if you listen to the music and follow it, all the movement feels so natural and normal. So that's what I want you to do. I really want you to get in your head, imagine you're all in black. I will actually show you a little photo of me in Chicago here. So that was my costume. I'm the guy in the bowler hat. All in black, all very sleek, very set. And you're just going to dance this. Now, the other thing I want you to do is, I want you to decide, you're going to tell me on the screen, or if there's someone else watching you, your dog, or your mum, or dad, or auntie, or whoever. I want you to decide you're going to tell me something tell me a story through your eyes. Dance is all about storytelling. And sometimes we can forget that. Sometimes we think that's only when it comes to a lyrical or contemporary routine. But actually it's everything. Everything you do, you should be telling the audience a story, dragging them in. So that's what I want you to do. Tell me a story while you perform this. It can be as simple as telling me what you're going to have for tea. But so your eyes are always active. Because you know what? If your eyes are dead, it's not as fun. So here we go, everyone. I'm going to get my bowler hat from the show. And we're going to dance it. Here we go.
Come on, baby, why don't we paint the town? I know that chairs, I wanna push my knees and roll my stockings down.
Hip.
I know that chairs, stop the car, no whoopee spot. Well, the gin is cold, the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl. And all that jazz. And all that jazz. Slick your hair and wear your buckle shoes. And all that jazz, I hear the vibe dip is gonna blow the blues. And all that jazz, hold on, we're gonna body hug. I bought some aspirin down at United Drug in case you shake apart and want a brand new start to do that jazz.
Everyone. The absolute joy of this video is that you can keep going back and starting over again. Do it as many, many, many times as you want to. Go back and check the technique. Remember my top Fosse tips. Number 1, elbow, wrist, hand at all times. On this one, elbow, wrist, hand. Your jazz hand, remember, this isn't a jazz hand. This is connection, yes? So you can feel energy in those fingers. Number 3, tell me a story. Through these. Your eyes are your biggest storytellers. So decide what you want to tell me and tell me through your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me for my Chicago workshop. Make sure you keep watching this video and you can watch my top 5 tips for dancers and performers based on all those questions that I get asked most of the time. I will see you so soon. Thank you so much for dancing with me. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, it's Cameron here and I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for performers and performing. Okay, so here it is. Top tip number 1. Be yourself because everyone else is taken. I know I spent a lot of my time growing up and learning to dance wishing I was like other people, wishing I was like the other people in my class, or wishing I had legs like the people I could see on TV. Well, actually the fact was I wasn't that. And the moment I decided, hey, I'm me and I've got my own spirit and no one's ever going to be like me, I managed to harness that and create the career I had, but also become the dancer I am today. So I want you to stop looking and comparing yourself to people on TV or your classmates. Just do you, be you, because an original is worth more than any amount of copies. Top tip number 2. A double pirouette and a straight leg will never go out of fashion. I see lots of people now doing my workshops and teaching across the world. People say to me, how can I do a triple backflip? Or how can I do this? Or how can I learn this latest trick? My answer is, don't. My answer is, focus your attention on making sure your technique for turns, kicks and leaps are exceptional. Take some time to really go back and harness that technique because they don't go out of fashion. Tilts and kicks and can also be very damaging to you if you do them wrong, but also they'll go out of fashion very soon. But one thing that has never gone out of fashion in musical theatre are solid turns, solid kicks, and performance quality. So I dare you, stop comparing yourself, stop looking at TV and on The Greatest Dancer or Dance Mums or thinking, I can't do that trick. No, you maybe can't. But what you can do is concentrate on your technique to make sure you will never need to trick. Top tip number 3, educate yourself. It's so easy to fall in love with modern day musicals and modern day dancers. They're everywhere on TV. Six, Heathers, Dear Evan Hansen. But what I'd love you to do is go back and look at the people that created this wonderful world of performing that we live in now. Bob Fosse, Jerome Robbins, Gene Kelly, Sid Charisse. Go back and watch the original musicals, Carousel and Oklahoma, and fall in love with those. Because if you were to be a doctor, you wouldn't skip the first 20 years or the first 50 years of medicine and only focus on the things you found today. So challenge yourself. Go on YouTube and instead of looking up The Greatest Dancer, how about you look up My Greatest Dancer, Bob Fosse, or look up Gene Kelly and watch them perform, and I promise you will learn more from them than you will any modern day dancer. Top tip. Top tip number 4. Make your weakness your strength. For me, my biggest weakness is that I don't have very good facility. I couldn't kick my face, I couldn't do tricks, I couldn't do the splits. I still can't do the splits. So I had to find something that made me, me. And luckily I found Fosse and that fitted me perfectly. It was something that worked for me. It made my biggest weakness my flexibility, my biggest strength. I certainly didn't need to use that. Now I'm not saying in any way, shape or form, forget about your weaknesses. I worked on my flexibility every single day and I worked on my strengths to make them as strong as my weaknesses. But at some time you have to go, okay, I need to find something that's me. Which leads to my top tip number 1, be yourself. Find things, if you struggle with flexibility, find a style that suits you. Really work on your thing. Because that's the biggest attribute you have is you and your thing. Which leads me to top tip number 5. Anything is possible if you believe in yourself. I have so many dancers say to me, I don't think I'm good enough, I don't think I'd ever do this, I don't think I could do that. And that happens to people who are performing in the industry that trained with me. I still don't think I'm good enough, I'm going to say this one thing to you. There are enough people in the world who will not believe in you, that will tell you, hey, no, you shouldn't do that. Hey, you need a second job. I don't believe that. I believe if you want to do something, you can do it. I come from a very small little town on the East Coast called Skegness. It's tiny. And lots of people told me as a kid, yeah, you're great, but you need a second option because performing is not great. I didn't have a second option. Dance and performing and creating was my life, and it still is to this day. Some things I didn't do. Some people would say I wasn't the biggest success in this industry, but what I did is make a living out of something I love. So anything is possible. If you want to be an astronaut, go and be an astronaut. If you want to be a doctor, go and be a doctor. Don't let any single person ever tell you no. Because no doesn't exist. It's not always going to be easy, and it's not always going to be the simplest path there, but no is never an answer. It's never an answer for me, and it's never going to be an answer for you. Yes, yes, yes. I believe in you, so you have to believe in you, and anything is possible. So they're my top 5 tips for performers. I have thousands more, so if you have any specific questions, please give your dance teacher an email or a message. They will send it to me and I will try and answer you the best way I know how. Thank you for dancing with me today, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.